What's going on, y'all? This is your boy, Man Up. Sorry, I'm not coming from the man cave today, having some work done in my man cave. I have my usual suspects with me today. Y'all know who they are.
Cedric D in the place to be.
And who else is over here with me?
Just Joe.
Just Joe. All right, all right. We got Cedric B and Just Joe joining me today. Now, I won't be able to kick y'all out of my man caves because I'm not in the man cave. But I'm still going to kick y'all out of here once we're done. So with that being said, y'all know what today's topic is. Today's topic is going to be our top wrestling character flops. And I already said you because I already geared up. I see it. So with that being said, before we get started, as always, we're going to go ahead and give an example of what it is that we're talking about, just in case some of y'all might not know. And what that is like certain characters that these wrestlers was given that did not work out. They probably got another character that flourished, that made them what they are today, or they probably got released from the company because they couldn't figure out what to do with that person. So character flops is what we're talking about.
And perfect example to go ahead and get us started. Perfect example. The Red Rooster. Look here. Oh dear gosh. Terry Taylor, the quintessential babyface in the Mid-South territory before going up to UWF, he went heel, and then he had the unification title match with Nikita Koloff with the TV titles. Then it kind of faded into obscurity. Then he went to WWF as the Red Frickin' Rooster.
I already know what you're getting at with that one.
No, I'm like, you got going around really do like.
I think it's also a testament to Vince McMahon's inability to. No, Caleb. We'll talk about that in a second. I disagree with you on that. But I think Vince McMahon has always thought, like, when he gets his hands on a wrestler, that nobody knows who it is. Like, he didn't think all these wrestling fans already knew Terry Taylor anyway, from being everywhere, before that, including Jim Crockett Promotions being his best national exposure before coming to the WWF. Mm-hmm. But he acted like people didn't know who Terry Taylor was. And it's like, no, they do. Like, you're just messing him up.
Little subtle nuances. Like Dusty Rhodes and damn polka dots. Really? Yeah.
Can't argue, man. Y'all making good points. Can't argue with you.
Man. Carry Cross first run. Okay, I'll talk of that real quick. Some of the ones that we're going to mention are way worse than that one, but that was bad. That was bad. It wasn't broke. What he was doing in NXT, that wasn't broke. That was broke by no means what he was doing in NXT. But some reason they thought that not having Scarlett and putting him in that freaking, I don't know what the hell you call what he was wearing in his first run.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's like you don't have to fix everything.
I don't even know if you could consider that a character flop, because his first or second night on the job, he puts, Jeff Hardy beats him with his feet on the ropes.
Oh my gosh.
Like, why? First off, why is Jeff Hardy cheating? Why would you do that to Jeff Hardy?
So let's stay focused, because that's a whole other show about bad booking and why.
Yeah. I don't consider that so much a character flop as I do just what the F with the booking.
Yeah, exactly. Someone mentioned Stardust. That was Cody Rhodes doing Stardust. That was like the best example of doing the best you can with what you were given.
Yeah,
that literally was. They wanted Did they win the tag team titles as Goldust and Stardust, or was it Cody and Dustin?
No, they did both.
Okay.
Now, I gotta agree with y'all with the Stardust, but let's go ahead and get into our top 5 here. Then we can elaborate a little bit more on these things. Yeah. Now, I do have to tell y'all, everybody here, like I told the gentleman here before we came live, I've been so busy with doing a lot of things, a lot of different things. I did not have time to make a list, so I'm kind of winging it off the top of my brain. And Stardust was one of the people that I was thinking. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with Stardust.
Okay.
But I will say this here, Stardust. I agree with you, Cedric. Cody Rhodes did what he could with that. He knew that it wasn't going to work. He even said it himself. He just did what he could to get it over because of his brother Goldust. So it's like he's trying. He's trying real hard. And it's not to say that none of these people didn't try to get it over, but it's just saying that good morning to you, Chris. Good morning to everybody, and I thank everybody for joining us, and I thank you for y'all comments. Y'all come on in.
I saw you, Big Mark.
Y'all come on in with the comments. I thank you, that Brown Tiger, my good buddy there, aka Clayton Cragen, Mr. Mark Maggart, Facebook user. I don't know your name. It's not coming up. Chris as well. No, I am not acknowledging you, Brown Tiger. But anyway.
Why in the heck would you? I'm gonna leave it alone.
What's up?
Why would anybody acknowledge Man Up? Why?
No, that's a thing me and him got going on. That's an inside joke me and him got going on.
Yeah, yeah. Here's the inside joke. Don't acknowledge Man Up for nothing.
Oh Lord, here he goes. See, he said he was going to get me today. Now, but back to Stardust. I give Cody all the credit in the world for trying to make that work. Even the one he had before that, dashing Cody Rhodes, where he lost the Intercontinental Championship to the Big Show and all that.
You skipped over a gimmick because you forgot about Team Rhodes Scholars.
Actually,
that horrible mustache.
I did forget that. You're right. I did forget all about that.
That was actually, people don't give that little gimmick.
Yes, he is.
Enough credit. That was hilarious.
Somebody's show later on today.
Yeah, I was gonna let Joey bring that news up. But,
I know, right? Mark couldn't wait to spill those beans. That's all good. That's all good.
But yeah, I gotta. But Stardust, that is a character flop. It is characterized as a character flop. But it's hard for me to say that because when that man tried so hard to get it over and he couldn't, so he just said, "Forget it. Let me out of my contract." So it does go in that category, but I'm just having a hard time keeping it there because he tried his damnness to get it to where it could be what to his character now, the American Nightmare. He tried to get Stardust over, but it just didn't work for him.
Dashing was better than Stardust. I concur with that. I actually dug the Dashing Cody Rhodes gimmick. I actually dug that one a little bit.
All right, what you got there, Mr. Cedric?
That's Joey, ain't it?
I don't know. Was Red Rooster your number 5?
I don't have them in order.
All right.
I got another one for you. Good old Kerwin White. Why? Why? Chavo Guerrero Jr. of the very famed Guerrero clan. You changed the man's gimmick to Kerwin White. He's wearing a polo, coming out in a golf cart, had a freaking caddy, and you had. Oh dear gosh.
Agreed. Ted DiBiase Jr. is a flop in general, but that's another thing. His whole wrestling career is a flop.
Oh dear gosh.
Damn.
Sorry, he sucked.
Damn. Joey, what's really on your mind, Joey?
He had a good look, though. He had a good look.
That's it. Yeah.
Hey,
could not wrestle. Could not.
they did good by putting them in Legacy. Had Cody and Randy with them to take so we then not really focus on the individual.
Yeah.
But
it was clear one half of that little tag team was better than the other.
Yep, exactly, Caleb. Exactly. Yeah.
All right. So what you got there, Mr. Joey?
I'll give you an entire faction.
Oh, crap.
The Dungeon of Doom. With the exception maybe of Kevin Sullivan, because I don't consider Kevin Sullivan a flop at all in any of his characters. But I think the timing of the Dungeon of Doom, the corny storylines, the characters, just awful in general. The Yeti,
okay.
Brutus the Barber Beefcake as the Zodiac. Come on. That's a flop. Earthquake as the Shark was a flop. The old guy that Kevin Sullivan came to talk, he's sitting on a throne that was all weird. That was a flop. The Yeti was a flop. The whole faction overall was a flop.
Okay, and we know the reason why that faction was, because Hulk Hogan going to WCW, the system. Oh, I'm coming back for that one. I'm coming back for that one. Okay. The Hulk Hogan freaking formula that worked in WWF is Hogan coming over, beating these big over the top characters when that was fed to him. That's all Dungeon of Doom, in my opinion. Dungeon of Doom, that was the whole purpose was characters to feed to Hogan to put him over,
which flopped in general to me. Like, that's the reason, Hogan's getting booed as Hulk Hogan before he turned heel. Mm-hmm. Like the whole thing was dead. Like at first it was okay because he was working with Ric Flair and Vader. He had quality opponents, that were established, and Vader made a good opponent for Hogan, but he wouldn't get. But Vader suffered from the same problem Randy Savage suffered as a Hogan opponent. Hogan wouldn't put him over, so you had nothing to come back to. It was just the Hogan show beating him every match. So eventually you're going to kill off that feud if the heel don't get nothing on you. So for that reason, I consider the Dungeon of Doom and most of its characters as a flop.
So I see today's show is going to be attacking me. That's fine. I'm a big boy. So my next one is going to be related to my favorite wrestler, and I'm talking about the Fake Diesel. And it's funny that you give it that name, the Fake Diesel. That just lets you know already.
Hold on, they didn't call him the Fake Diesel on TV. They told him.
No, I ain't say that. I ain't saying that. I'm just saying it's just funny that he has that name, the Fake Diesel. No, I ain't saying WWE called him that. No,
right.
They tried to trick everybody, with the fake Razor Ramon and the Fake Diesel, because they tried to trick everybody.
Yeah.
But, it's funny that he has that name, Fake Diesel. That's how you know it was not going to work. But I get, like, it's kind of going back to what Stardust. He tried. He tried to get it over. He did what he could. Didn't work. It just did not work. And I think that didn't work because you didn't fool nobody. Yeah, y'all might be the same, give or take, in stature, give or take here, there. But other than that, no. But that was just one that was a character that was basically one and done. One and done. And excuse me. So when you go from one character flop to another character flop, usually your career is done or damn near done. I'll put it like that. And coming out there trying to, like what the Diesel used to do, and it's like, no, it just didn't resonate. Now, glad that he ended up getting something that pushed him way over the top and stuff. And that was another discussion that me and the Brown Tiger was having when we had our phone call. He was talking about Kane wasn't all that. I'm like, what? Well, whatever.
All right, so putting you on the spot, man. Up. That was definitely not one of Glenn Jacobs' better gimmicks. From top up to, from the best, his best gimmick to his worst gimmick. Put him in order for us.
Well, of course, we all know the best is Kane.
Yeah.
So that's the Unabomber, I would say, would be second.
Okay.
He had one before the Unabomber.
Bruiser Mastino.
Who?
What the?
Bruiser Mastino doing jobs on WCW.
I did.
He also had one, like he was wrestling in Memphis with the Undertaker.
Oh, the Christmas Creature.
Yeah, he did have that. That's up. That
was what he was dressed up like a Christmas tree in Memphis wrestling in USW.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm Googling this one. What's it called?
I grew up watching Memphis wrestling. I didn't miss any of this crap.
What's the name of the gimmick?
Christmas Creature, but USWA Christmas Creature.
Yeah.
Came from the fantastic, legendary mind of Dutch Mantel.
Oh, dear gosh.
See, even Caleb.
Oh, dear gosh. Okay, all right. Oh, wow.
Yeah. The Unabomber.
And of course, they did the same thing. They fed him to Jerry Lawler, and that was it.
I try to think of all his characters right now.
Unabomb was Smoky Mountain when he tag teamed up with Al Snow.
Yeah. He also had the evil dentist. We know that sucked. He had a couple of more. I can't think of them all off the top of my head right now. But I guess that just shows if you stay true to your craft and you don't give up, you never know what can happen. So look what happened when he got Kane, and then look what happened when he teamed up with the Undertaker.
Well, he didn't have a video. I promise, man. Up. It's not a video.
Gilbert was not a flop. Gilbert was hilarious.
Not Goldberg, Gilbert.
Gilbert was not a flop. That dude made a couple of decades of money out of being Gilbert. What are you talking about?
That dude's still making money as Gilbert.
Yeah, that is not a flop. I'd give credit to Dwayne Gill on that when he got that garbage over.
Yeah. Coming out there with those little sparkles.
He got that over.
He did.
You give the man credit. That's not a flop.
Gilbert.
Got a light heavyweight title run. Got a light heavyweight title for like 2 damn years after that, right? Or something. No.
What you got there, Cedric?
Oh, I shared the picture of the Christmas freaking creature. This is crazy. Oh dear gosh.
Use the logic with Virgil.
Oh, Virgil. Soul Man Jones.
Yeah, Fake Sting I also don't consider a flop. That guy, I don't consider that a flop. I don't really consider that enough. I mean, I don't consider that a flop. I think it served its purpose. And honestly, he got years out of that gimmick too. In Japan, especially.
Didn't he take that gimmick to Japan too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, let's go back. Let's start this over. When we talking about a flop, a character that was trying so hard to get over with the fans and the company itself, but did not happen. When you talking about Gilbert, yeah, Joey's right. He's still to this day, 20 years later, using that Gilbert gimmick to make him money.
Even on the indies, he's out there having matches all he wants as Gilbert.
That's not a flop.
No.
Yep. We covered that. We covered that one. That was the first one off the board right there.
I don't think it ended. Terry Taylor's career never ended. What are you talking about? He's still in the business, I think.
Yeah. What you got there, Cedric?
This one may actually shock you all because it's the Shock Master. Ooh.
Tripped over
that would be falling through a wall.
Yeah.
They hyped that up so bad for that man to fall on his ass through a wall.
Shockmaster gets a special something here.
What did he get? Oh Lord.
Oh no, yeah. Oh God.
Oh Lord.
Oh God. No, that's foul.
Wait, somebody
That
get
was
the
probably that might
somebody
be the
open
worst
up a window.
With
Open up a
Ole Anderson
window.
doing the
No, that was
voiceover.
bad. That was bad. That was bad.
What you got there, Joey?
All right, I gotta go with by far Kevin Nash's most infamous character, Oz, during the wonderful Jim Herd era of WCW.
Now, Mr. Brown Tiger might know about that one. He's a big WCW guy.
Okay.
But go ahead, Joey.
Yeah, I mean, it goes without saying. You got Kevin Nash at 7 feet tall, walking out there in this green daggum Wizard of Oz gimmick and a big old fake beard and hair on, and then he takes it off to wrestle, and he's got that gray flat top with a rat tail, and he's doing jobs. How do you have Kevin Nash as a jobber? Like I'll never get over.
Your goodness, man.
I find it funny because for two reasons. I agree 100% with Joey, and Joey sounds very passionate about that one.
I mean, even Vinny Vegas was better than Oz. Like
Vinny Vegas was awesome.
Yeah, part of DDP's group, the Diamond Mine.
I love this interest music.
Yeah. He tried with that character too. Oz, you could just tell he did not give a crap about. He was just like, as long as I get paid, I guess I'll keep walking out here.
I'm just saying.
Okay. My next one, I'm trying to think of the name of the character, but it was when Ron Simmons was like
Farouk Assad. When he's a gladiator?
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's what it's called?
Assad.
Yeah.
He had Sonny as a manager.
The only reason why I'm calling that one a flop, because when he was on Stone Cold's Broken Skull sessions, he himself called it a flop.
Hey,
no, it was awful.
That was god awful.
The former WCW World Heavyweight Champion, again, Vince McMahon thought nobody was going to know who he was either. And it's like, no, everyone knows who Ron Simmons is.
Yeah. Everybody knew him from his college football days, so yeah. But
he was only the world champion in another company, but whatever.
Yeah. And I'm surprised he never got a run with the title.
Well, I mean, you got to think too. That was kind of the tail end. He'd been around since the 80s himself, and again had all those injuries from football. We'll get to that. We're going to get to Mortis in a minute. Don't worry. Mortis isn't on my list, but something related is.
But
I want to bring it. Bring it right now. Bring it.
I read it. Man up, suck eggs. I read it. But yeah, I think that gladiator thing from Ron Simmons, it sucks. It sucks. Yeah. But there goes somebody else who was just doing what they were trying to do to make it happen. You know, and the funny thing about that whole thing is that Stone Cold Steve Austin said this. He said if it was anybody else, they would have laughed them out of the business.
Yeah.
But because it was Ron Simmons, nobody said a word.
Right. I just felt sorry. I just felt sorry for Ron. I was like,
because it was him, nobody said.
This was my guy for a while in WCW. Look what y'all doing to him. Look what y'all doing to Ron Simmons.
Yes, I agree. I think the WWE redeemed him when he became the Acolytes.
Well, he redeemed himself. Let's be honest. Like
Okay.
Well, I was feeling that character more, and he got it over. He was the. I mean, let's be honest. Bradshaw owes a lot to Ron Simmons in that gimmick because Ron was the best part about the APA.
Oh yeah, Bradshaw says that all the time that he owes Ron Simmons for everything. Oh yeah,
Ron got that whole thing over with the card games in the back, the cigars, the fake door, the whole thing. That was
I'll never forget that. Those were the best days.
Those were Ron's brainchild. So this come from his creative mind. You know, like like.
That was great, you know. Yeah. All right. What you got there, Mr. Cedric?
The Goon.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying to remember this one.
So it was Wild Bill Irwin. So he has stints in WCW. He has stints in UWF. He in world class on the territorial scene. He was well traveled during when we have all the territories and everything. Tim was Scouter when they were the Long Riders.
Yeah.
So he was a good veteran, you know.
Yeah.
But then they saddled him with the Goon, a damn hockey gimmick.
Yeah, it made no sense to anyone. Nobody could figure it. That whole era of WWF right there was a lot of characters they just threw out there that were like, hold on, what? Fantasio?
Yep.
Like
Max Moon.
Yeah. I'm like, what is Max Moon? Nobody explained it to me. Like, I don't understand the gimmick.
Exactly.
Like
shoot. Max Moon was Conan underneath the mask.
Until he left and Paul Diamond did it, right?
Exactly. So
yeah.
Eric Watts, Barry Darso. Okay. Barry Darso had a collection of freaking gimmicks.
But I wouldn't call any of them a flop. I think
I wouldn't call any of them a flop, but he's had his freaking share. Crusher Darso, then he got changed to Crusher Khrushchev. Yeah. Then went Smash and Demolition. Then he became Repo Man.
I don't consider Repo Man a flop. Some people do, but I don't. I think he had a decent run. Not compared to Smash of Demolition, but it wasn't bad.
Exactly.
Well,
Eric Watts didn't have a character to flop.
I would say the Repo Man wasn't a flop.
He was just a guy in trunks. Like, he had no character to flop. He was a flop, yeah, but he had no character.
I'm the son of Cowboy Bill Watts.
Yep.
That's what that was.
Yeah. All right, what you got there, Mr. Joey?
All right. I'm going to go with a guy that I knew personally from my time in the business, but Kevin.
Uh-oh.
Say that again. You froze up. Say that again.
Am I here?
Yeah.
All right. I said I'm going to go with a guy that I knew personally from the business, Kevin Fertig as Mordecai.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This guy, they brought this guy in with this all-white character to wrestle The Undertaker, and a month later, they jobbed him out to Rey Mysterio and put him off of TV.
Yeah, I remember that.
And the man had decent characters. What was the vampire character he did on ECW was decent.
Kevin Thorne?
Yeah. Like they drove him right out of the business. WWE did. I mean, unfortunately, he was a talented guy that could have been something. He had a good look.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was something there, but Mordecai was bad. Cheeseburger's not a flop. Brown Tiger, what do you even know about Ring of Honor? You don't strike me as a guy that watched Ring of Honor, but maybe you do. What do you know about world famous CB? Cheeseburger is good, man. Like, I'm not knocking the guy. He weighed like 95 pounds, but I'm not going to call him a flop.
Oh, gosh.
You're going to name this guy. That tells me you never watched him on Ring of Honor or New Japan if you're going to call him a flop.
Uh-oh. What do you got to say about that, Brown Tiger? Come on.
He ain't got nothing. He ain't got nothing.
Yeah. Kevin Fertig is a nice guy, and he's a good wrestler. He was a big dude that had an impressive look and everything, but Mordecai was terrible. He in OVW, he was in the clique, the group with Batista and them down there when Batista was Leviathan and Jim Cornette's wife and all that stuff. No need to go into that. But
all right, I got one that he's in the Hall of Fame, WWE Hall of Fame. And I know, let me say this here before I say who he is.
The character?
I think this guy suffered from some kind of like bone issue or muscle issue or something. I don't know. Because he couldn't walk that well. Or couldn't move around real good. Now, he did what he could, I guess. I don't know. But when I watch old videos of him, it's like, I want to say he's a flop, but then again, I don't. So I'm kind of on the fence with this, and I'm talking about the great Khali. I think if you ever pay attention to how he moves in the ring, he's kind of, well, not kind of, he's very, very stiff. Like he can't be a little flexible. Like the Big Show can really move. You know what I'm saying? Like when he had matches with the Big Show, he had matches with Kane, matches with Undertaker. It's like, that's why I want to say he is a flop, but then again, I don't, because it's like he can't really function the way I guess he wanted to.
He is a flop. He's a flop that won the world heavyweight title. Let's be honest.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
I mean, yeah, you're right. But I don't know. I guess I'm just looking at it like he couldn't really maneuver the way he wanted to. That's why I'm saying he's a flop. But then again, I'm not blaming that as a flop, if that makes sense how I'm putting it.
Wasn't he in the same Hall of Fame class with Jushin Thunder Liger? And it's like, how are you going to induct this man next to the greatest junior heavyweight wrestler of his entire generation?
I think it was, yeah.
Explain that to me when this guy's in the Hall of Fame class with a guy like Liger.
Good question.
You know, like you cannot compare those two things. Liger gave people joy for 30-something years, and you know, gave everything in the ring and wrestled everybody that was anybody. And then you're gonna put the great Khali in, whose original gimmick was bad enough to where he became the Punjabi Playboy. Like, come on now, that's enough said right there. Come on now. The Punjabi Playboy.
That's why I say he is a flop.
Yeah, he's a flop.
But I kind of blame a lot of that on his movement restrictions as well. So
I don't know about that. I think he would have been just as bad if he was moving. If I saw Khali do a Hurricane Rana, like I'm gonna be like, okay. Like, that's something you only see on WWE 2K. If you're playing with him, change his move set.
All right, what you got there, Cedric?
All right. Another example of if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it.
Yeah.
The man was a Florida heavyweight champion, former WWF tag team champion, former NWA US tag team champion, former Western States Heritage champion, former NWA World Tag Team Champion, former NWA US Heavyweight Champion, former NWA World Heavyweight Champion. But the WWF decides to call him the Stalker. And I'm talking about Barry Windham.
Yeah.
That did not go over well at all. The Stalker.
Or any version of him. Remember, what was the first one? He was the Widowmaker.
The Widowmaker?
Like again, do you not think people know who Barry Windham is? We know who Barry Windham is. You don't need to change anything. He just needs to be Barry Windham.
Hell,
he was very good at just being Barry.
He was a WWF before. He's a former tag team champion as Barry Windham.
But there again, this is the company that brought Ricky the Dragon Steamboat back as the Dragon and didn't connect him to, him in WrestleMania 3 just a few years before. They're like, no, this is a different guy. Is it? We don't know who Ricky Steamboat is.
Let's play Men in Black.
Win the world's title, but of course that's when WWF had their alternate universe. Nothing outside WWF existed.
Yeah, let's ignore the last year he was wrestling there all over the world.
Classics.
Yeah, some of the greatest matches that ever happened.
But let's play Men in Black. Get that pen to erase your mind real quick.
You know what, man? You actually had a freaking good comment there. Sir, I can't even mess with you at this moment. Let's
also acknowledge,
sir.
Hey, let's also acknowledge the new Blackjacks. Why?
Okay. I think that could have worked, Bradshaw and when I liked it when they debuted at WrestleMania, like okay,
but it still goes back to what you said. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I know, but
see, now you're contradicting yourself. No, it didn't work. It ain't gonna work.
I was okay with it.
Barry and Bradshaw could have been a good tag team without dyeing their hair black and stuff. I mean, let's be honest. That could have been a hellacious a dominant tag team without the stupid gimmick. You know, you didn't need to really dye them. You could have just had to be Bradshaw and Wyndham or something, and it would have worked. Like they could have got it over.
All right. Before we get to you, Joey, Cedric, I want you to do all of us a favor. Show us the new thing you just got in the mail a couple of days ago.
What, that thing?
Yeah, that thing.
That thing?
Yeah, that thing. I don't know what you call that thing you just got. I don't know why you want to show everybody that thing you got.
You might possibly be talking about this thing, huh?
Yeah,
man, I wish you had your big gold too. Oh, some great big golds, man. That is beautiful.
Oh.
Yeah. I just wanted to give Cedric, some props on that. That is a nice looking belt. That thing is sweet.
If you didn't see the unboxing or anything, head over to Championship Belt Brothers. Join the group if you're not a member, and check out the video.
Oh my God! Yeah, this thing is gorgeous, man. It's gorgeous.
Did you weigh it? Do you know how much it weighed?
I could. I'm gonna say I gotta knock stuff over. I'm gonna say it's about 10 pounds. I weighed myself, then I weighed myself with the belt, subtracted. It's about 10 pounds. I think it might be more than that, honestly.
Okay. All right. What you got there, Mr. Joey?
All right, keeping another thing. I don't think Justin Hawk Bradshaw was terrible, but I think they just cut it off because they realized it wasn't going anywhere good for him. All right, I got to go with another. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And this goes back. I'm going to go with Wildman Mark Marrow. I have to, because this is a guy who was, again, pretty big in WCW as Johnny B. Bad. And Vince McMahon decided he wanted Johnny B. Bad, but he decided, like he always does, that enough people probably don't know who this guy is, so we're going to change him up so we can own his character or whatever. And they gave him that garbage. And, and honestly, I think Mark Marrow's entire career in the WWF for the most part was a flop. Like even the marvelous Mark Marrow thing just did not, this man was doing a shooting star press and the fans were still just taking a bathroom break. I mean,
damn.
They gave the man the IC title, it just, and then I guess he got hurt.
So we had the discussion about if they put the strap on them on a person or not, does that kind of exclude them from being a flop?
No, it does not. Case in point, Curtis Axel, his whole career.
Ooh, you was there. Damn.
They tried hard with that young man for a long time, and let me tell you, he could do some things in the ring. He just looked like he was lost out there 24 hours a day. He just did not. Yeah, no.
I mean, come on, the B Squad, they won the tag team titles, for goodness sake.
I still no. That we were just talking about Bo Dallas earlier. I mean, that's one of the. How many times has the tag titles been put on somebody, especially in the last 20 years, and it just been, an epic fart?
Hey, hold on now. The Spirit Squad, they had a 7-month reign. Damn it.
Funny that you said that, because that was my next character. That whole damn group. Because Triple H tried to put them over. Shawn Michaels, Vince McMahon.
Oh, come on.
I agree.
They threw folks up 10 feet in the air. Y'all didn't think that was over?
No.
Cedric, stop trying. Stop trying.
I think that was a gimmick that lost fans' interest on Monday Night Raw for a long time.
Yes. Got all these guys coming up there like they cheerleaders and shit. Stop trying. No.
It didn't get over.
No. And Triple H and Shawn Michaels tried their hardest to put them over. Vince tried hard too. No. That was my next one. I'm glad Cedric said that because that was what I was thinking. Because like I told y'all, I didn't have time to write nothing down because I've been so busy.
Yeah. No worries.
So well, I'm winging it, and I immediately thought about Spirit Squad, and then here goes Cedric. He said it.
Let's be honest. The gimmick kept going that long because they thought Kenny Dykstra was going to be this breakout star, and they had the wrong one pegged to be the star out of the group.
No, y'all know who that ended up being. So he's still with the company right now.
Exactly. Kenny Dykstra was no good. He did a huge jumping leg drop from the top rope, and that was about it until he smashed his butt crack on the mat about 100 times. And what was it? A year later, after he split from the group, he was gone, and he came back around a couple years ago. They tried to bring the Spirit Squad back on SmackDown, and it did just about as much on there as it did before.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Did the Undertaker? That's what it did. Nothing. It's over.
I mean, I could come up with other examples of gimmicks that won championships to me that still were like over like a fart in church. Gregory Helms.
The Hurricane.
Rocky Hurricane.
No, the Hurricane is not a character flop. Him without the mask was a character flop.
Okay, I got your point, but I think the whole damn thing was a flop, if you ask me.
Rocky Maivia was a character flop.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was.
Yes.
They put the rocket to him.
That's a hot take right there. Like, no, but Rocky Maivia was a character flop.
Yeah. His first character was a flop. Then he immediately changed to Rocky. Then it was Rock.
Yeah.
No, The Rock, excuse me. Yeah. So Rocky Maivia, whoo-wee. That's why they were chanting, "Die, Rocky, die." All right, what you got there, Seth? I think we passed 5, but oh well.
We just throwing out names right now.
Yeah, we are. I think we all.
A character that was a flop, but I liked it because it was based off of a movie, and that they went with. Waylon Mercy.
Oh yeah,
it's all in Waylon Mercy's hands. I like the Max Cady character from Cape Fear. I liked it, but I like the character, but the character didn't go long.
Dan Spivey was also a guy that had a good look but had no talent.
Yeah,
like that's why Bray Wyatt got the same character over years later.
So
well, virtually the same character, the same attire, the same original presentation.
Same everything. Yeah, that's true. All right, what you got there, Mr. Joey? You got one more?
Yeah, I got one more. I'll go with Glacier from WCW and the whole stupid Mortal Kombat thing with Mortis and.
You said you were gonna go into it. Go for it, bro.
Wrath.
Yeah.
Wrath.
like this whole thing of Eric Bischoff's brainchild of bringing Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter to WCW, and you picked a guy to be Sub-Zero, and you had him trying to do martial arts maneuvers, except he had zero martial arts background, and was not convincing, and the only one of them I think that had a good martial arts background was Ernest Miller, but I don't even really count him as part of that. He was just, a guy that was teaching Eric Bischoff's kid or something martial arts that he was like, "Hey, you want to wrestle?" and gave him a job in WCW. But Ernest was talented, let's be honest. 3-time world karate champion. He was talented, but golly, man, Glacier, Mortis, Wrath, that whole thing, blood runs cold. The only good part about it was Sinister Minister James Mitchell's early character being there. That was about it. But that was awful. That was a huge character flop.
Something like that, Caleb. It was a buttload of freaking money. But it is what it is.
Put that back up there real quick.
Yeah.
And think about that right now, Caleb. Since we've had conversations offline, WCW, Chris Masters is not a flop. Don't say that. Don't say that. You're wrong for that. Chris Masters is not a flop. Correct.
That gimmick got over, man. But it's like as soon as his master lock got broken,
it wasn't just that either. It's the fact that he had to go to rehab and came back like damn near 50 pounds lighter. Like he lost all of his mass. And then he comes back and he's out there and it's like he's got this little skinny neck and stuff, and everybody's like, what the hell happened to him? Imagine if when Lex Luger had to come off the anabolic chicken in the WWF, which he did, if he lost all of his mass. Now, granted, Luger lost like 25 pounds, but he still was in shape and looked good. Like he still looked very muscular and looked the part. But Chris Masters, you know, came back with a goatee and a pencil neck and had none of the muscle mass. So it's like, what the hell is this supposed to be? But Chris Masters is not a flop.
I'll put it like this with Chris Masters, though, because I agree with you, Joe. It's like once Bobby Lashley broke that master lock, it's like all of a sudden he no longer exists anymore. You know, I don't know. It was just weird with him. Mm-hmm. But I will say that only thing he was doing was trying to put people in that damn master lock, and he wasn't really doing much. Yeah. So I could kind of see why Brown Tiger is asking or saying that.
I don't think people just changed the channel when he came on there, though. I think he had good segments. I think he was decent. And then I think even to this day, Chris Mordetsky is still, he's still in the NWA and still doing good work. And he's still getting money out of that character, even though he goes by Chris Adonis now.
Right.
Yeah.
But he apparently owns the trademark to the Masterpiece nickname now, though.
Okay.
Because he's using that.
Smart man. I didn't know that. Smart man.
He's still getting money out of that gimmick. So I can't call it a flop. He's doing good work now. He's definitely coming to his own over the, as he gets older.
Okay. I got one more that I can think of off the top of my head right now. Now, I'm going to go back to that Bradshaw character, that Justin Hawk or whatever you want to call it. Whatever the hell his name was at that time. I see why some people wouldn't say it's a flop, but I think it was because that's the reason why it didn't last long. That's the reason why they immediately got him away from that. Started him basically trying to do a run for the hardcore title before they.
Hold on, you're skipping years. You're skipping years.
Oh, I know. It's so much. I'm not gonna put all.
You missed all. You're jumping from before the APA, before the Acolytes, and before the Ministry of Darkness. Well, after all that was over.
Oh, I know. I'm talking about I skipped the Ministry of Darkness, all this stuff when when it was there. I know it's just a whole lot going into it. So I'm trying to, I guess you could say, save time. Long story short, I put it like that. But I'm just saying that with that character, I get it. He was trying to be a damn cowboy, a Texas cowboy, and all that crap. And I don't know. I don't think that really worked well. It got over.
I don't think it ever took him to the main event, but I think he had a run out of it, and I don't think it was a flop. I think he was just kind of a lower mid-card guy for a while, and then they saw something else they wanted to do with him, and that's kind of when they pulled him out of it. But I wouldn't call that a flop. That's to me, that's like there's characters like that. Sparky Plug, for instance, that I don't. They're not good characters, but I wouldn't consider them a flop. They just didn't get above like the lower end of the mid card.
And see, and that's what I'm getting at, because it don't seem like he was going with that character. It doesn't seem like he was going to ever be to what he ended up becoming.
No, they only took him out of that character to do that thing with him in the NWA. I guess that was before the NWA when they did the new Blackjacks. They just pulled him. I think they didn't need Dutch Mantell anymore because that was who his manager was, Uncle Zebekiah, and then and Dutch left the company, and I think they just had they had to figure out something else to do with him. But I don't know. I personally wouldn't call Justin Hawk Bradshaw a flop.
I get your point, and I see what you're saying. It's just that I don't think that character is going to go anywhere. That's why I'm considering this one a flop. it's kind of like so it's kind of like you knew you had to make a change to get a little further up.
That's like calling that's like calling Hardcore Holly a flop. Because his character was always at one level and it was never going above that.
Oh no, I ain't calling Hardcore Holly no flop.
But to me, it's the same difference. It just went on longer. Like Hardcore Holly was never really going to be a main eventer. He wasn't going to be world champion, but he's still, you know what I mean? Like, and I mean, they kept it around well after its shelf life. But let's be honest, like,
what is he doing now?
Val Venus. These weren't character flops. They just weren't. They had a shelf life and they definitely had a cap on the top. They weren't going above a certain level just based off the character alone.
Exactly.
What is Hardcore Holly doing these days? I haven't heard nothing from him.
He's 50-something years old now. He's not a young man. I mean, but I think Hardcore Holly. We could go on a whole dang show about Hardcore Holly. Hardcore Holly is one of the most disliked people in the professional wrestling business by many, and I think once Vince couldn't take him anymore and let him be there, and I don't know if you know why he got released, but it involves Mr. Kennedy and some things that happened backstage with going in people's bags and taking things that weren't theirs. And oh God, Saba Simba, that definitely was a character flop. Then racist as hell.
The man's name is Tony Atlas.
We all know who Tony Atlas is.
I at around that time when I because Tony left around 84, right before the Hulkamania thing started.
I guess
he left. He came back with Simon was 89. That was practically a WWF generational gap somewhere around there. So a lot of folks may not remember. What did Tony do between those times? I think he floated between Puerto Rico, some other territories.
I think he did appear on Jim Crockett too, like a little bit here and there. I know after the Saba Simba run, he came to WCW and had a not so great run there where he was trying to arm wrestle everybody or whatever. He had a little thing with the Junkyard Dog in WCW that didn't really work out.
Oh, I do not remember that. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. It was bad. So like it wasn't. But Tony,
I remember that. I remember that.
Simba. That's a testament to, but I think no, because he was homeless. That's right. Tony Atlas was homeless. I heard a story about this.
Vince was trying to help him out.
Yeah, so he gave him that. That sounds like some crap that what's his name, Patterson came up with.
So it was a flop, but it was an ends to justify me and put a paycheck on someone who was struggling. So it served its purpose.
Yeah, God, man. You think you could do something else with Tony Atlas besides that crap?
It could have.
Yeah.
Well, I got a list of four names. We're gonna do like really quick because one time too like this one here should have been out there. Bastion Booger.
Yeah, that was awful.
That
I don't know what that character was either. I'm like, what is this? It's just a disgusting dude.
Originally they had him as some kind of friar or something like that. I think that offended somebody.
Bastion Booger.
Yeah. Reel's man's man. They gave to Steven Regal.
Oh, yes.
Oh, the Ringmasters.
Yeah.
That was bad. And Chainsaw Charlie.
I give all four of them a big.
Somebody open up a window. Open up a window.
I got a couple more for you. Okay. Arachnaman in WCW. Brad Armstrong in a mask trying to be Spider-Man.
Okay. Because I was doing research. I saw that in my research, and I was like, when the hell was this?
That was WCW. There was a couple ones that weren't too bad, like Art Barr as Beetlejuice, or what do they call him, the Juicer? That was actually over with the live audience and fans, but still just what the hell, man.
Yeah,
that was part of Jim Hurd right there, trying to come up with movie-based characters. I mean, this
The
is
ding dongs.
Oh God.
So do y'all really think the Ringmaster was a horrible gimmick? Was a flop?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it was awful. Putting Steve Austin with Ted DiBiase and having him use the $1 Million Dream for a finisher is just
Okay.
He's lucky he had a career.
Oh,
yeah. Well, I don't think they got sued. I think they got like letter of reprimands for some of these movie characters they were trying to do. Because even when they brought Art Barr in, they were originally calling him Beetlejuice, like somebody wasn't going to find out. You know, like this is a movie that is in theaters, people. Like,
I dare you say it 3 times. I dare you.
This is the same company that had Oz and and all these. They tried to like bring pop culture. And they had, the worst thing they did was have RoboCop.
Don't Turner own like the Wizard of Oz and stuff like that? So they could,
maybe that's why they didn't get in trouble for that. But
so,
they didn't own Spider-Man. I promise that. You need Jesus. You need to go see Jesus down at the cantina and get you a margarita on the rocks.
Just saying, sir.
Yeah, go see Jesus. He will help you out, but he will charge you at least $5.99 for that margarita.
At least.
Oh man, this is funny. This is funny. Now, I'm not saying the Ringmaster is not a flop. I was just trying to get y'all opinion on that because, like I said before, even if the person who played the character admits that it was a flop, no matter what we think, I think my personal opinion, you gotta go with what they telling you. And Stone Cold did say that was horrible.
Yeah.
He even said it. That was horrible, and he was mad that the WWF at that time wouldn't come up with something for him to do, until he got the Stone Cold thing with that his wife gave him that name and he saw whatever that trial was, that man who committed all those crimes. That's how he got the gimmick, the Stone Cold character and all that stuff. He got the name from his wife, all that stuff. So yeah, I was just asking y'all. I know the Ringmaster was a flop and it was stupid, but hey.
What about some of the factions they had? BN News. Hey, man.
BN News. I'm here to bum rush this show. Yo, baby, yo.
The Rapmaster. Like, if you're some dumb kid or somebody dumb and you don't know nothing about hip hop at the time, you probably think this was like this is just how hip hop is.
Oh, this dude dropping bars, yo.
Yeah.
Wow.
PN News, man. Come on.
Oh, Orlando Jordan. I forgot all about him.
Do it. Okay, in TNA, I agree. The whole bisexual thing character, yeah, that kind of was a flop. That did not get over. I don't know if I call him a flop in WWE. I thought him and JBL's group wasn't terrible.
Yeah,
I thought he complimented that.
The cabinet.
Yeah, the cabinet.
Yeah, I thought he did okay with that.
Yeah, that's why they put the U.S. Championship on him. Took it off of John Cena.
Well, that wasn't a good idea.
But it wasn't. What wasn't the end to justify the means? They took the U.S. title to put the world title on them.
But we're talking about on Orlando Jordan.
How did they do it though? I'm sure it wasn't clean though.
Probably not. Yeah, I didn't know.
Maybe he is a flop. Instead, went on to win the WWF title right after that, right?
Yeah. Well. Yeah, John Cena did.
Yeah, it was just an end to 409 to get the title.
Yeah, granted, especially since the feud was between Cena and JBL. So yeah, I see that it just furthered the storyline and got the dead weight off of Cena so we could go after the big one.
Underrated storyline, actually.
Yeah,
I got one for y'all before we get up out of here today. I got one for y'all because I was thinking about this all last night. What so far this year, what do y'all consider the match of the year?
You're going completely off topic, sir.
I know.
Match of the year.
Why are we going off topic, sir?
It's hard to say.
Because we're almost out of time. That's why.
It's hard to say.
I'd rather us be out of time, man, and we can discuss that on another show. Yeah. You know what?
You want to do that? You want to do that? Oh Lord. I ain't trying to get over, so I ain't trying to get over.
I'm gonna fire you as moderator. I'm gonna fire you as moderator.
Just so y'all know,
keep it on topic. Then you throw. You know what? We thank everybody for watching us on this show.
You must be real bored if you're watching us.
We'll be back next week with another hot topic that more likely will not be created by Man Up because the hot Man Up sucks eggs. He everything.
Just so y'all know, me and Cedric had this off-screen beef where we just be going back and forth at each other. He think he have a better belt collection than me, but he don't. He just have more, but he don't have a better collection than me.
The belt I just showed you beats anything in this collection, so I'm not worried about that at all. I'm not worried about that at all. I'm just saying.
Oh man.
Yeah. You can't really say. So yeah, Caleb makes a point. So that goes in. I guess start thinking about that for next week, and we'll talk about maybe some of the. Maybe we'll do a top 5 best matches we've seen this year or something. But you can't just say that unless you've watched some Will Ospreay, because I got to give the man credit. He's coming into his prime. He ain't there yet, but he is on his way.
And when we talk about it, it's going to be somewhat subjective because a lot of folks are only going to be familiar with what they see in the mainstream and not necessarily what happened on the indie scenes or on the ones not as prominent as what is shown on.
Matter of fact, let's go ahead and put this out there before we leave. Caleb, and for anybody else watching, if you've seen some matches that you consider great, do send me a message with that link or something to it, and then I will share it with Cedric and Man Up, or you can message them. Either way, where we could share that, because if you've seen matches that you consider great and we haven't seen them, then we need to see that prior to, because it's easy to say oh, Sheamus versus Gunther is the best match, but if you haven't seen, if you didn't watch the G1 and you didn't do this stuff, it's kind of hard to really be
exactly. It's so subjective. It really is.
Yeah, that is, because everybody has their opinion on that, and I think that would be a great topic for another show down the line.
Yeah,
but I will say this here: I do agree with Joey that because it's so many great out there that people don't pay attention to, you might not know about, stuff like that. I will be honest, these two got me watching wrestling from places I've never watched before. Listening to them talk, when we have our conversations offline, these two got me watching wrestling way more than what I ever thought I would ever watch. So I give both of them mad props.
And the big thing about it is that there's more options than what we're seeing on the main scene. It really is. I go back when I was following independent wrestling like that, or the stuff that they were doing was blowing what they were doing on TV out the water. So.
Look at a good example of that. If you haven't been seeing any of his matches this year, the MLW National Openweight Champion Davey Richards is having bangers all over the country. He was on the NWA pay-per-view wrestling Thrillbilly Silas, and it was a little man versus big man match, but it's one I'd go out of your way to see, because Davey Richards may very well just be kind of coming into his prime as a wrestler, and that's saying something because he had great runs in Ring of Honor and Impact and everywhere. But he's doing some good work this year, man. Davey is on a roll, traveling the world.
Yeah. All right, fellas, we out of time. We past time. Any last statements y'all want to give about our character flops?
No, I just invite. I wanted to invite everybody. If you haven't checked out Spanning the Globe, Mark Maggard's involved with that. Definitely look him up. and I'll be on the show tonight for a little while to talk about some of my time in professional wrestling business.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. It's completely different, so check them out.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, go ahead and check out Spanning the Globe. He was in here, Mr. Mark Maggot. I don't know if he's still in here or not, but you know, that's who does that show. He invited me a couple of times, but we'll have to, you know, work out a time frame here and there. But I want to thank both of y'all gentlemen. We always have fun doing these conversations, you know, giving our insights, giving our opinions, you know, just going back and forth, talking, having a laugh. This show is going to always be drama free. We're always going to laugh. Too much going on in the world for us to bring stress into this. Should be a place to where we just laugh, have fun, talk some noise, show off our belts, talk wrestling, whatever. It's stress and drama free, as Mr. Cedric loves to say. So with that being said, I can't kick y'all out my man cave because I'm not in the man cave. But I'm still finna kick y'all out of here. I'm finna be rude. So that being said, I holla.